Thank you for listening to this podcast, and welcome to the Campus Café. In this episode, I'll be chatting over a cup of coffee with two students from the International Social Work program at Han University of Applied Sciences. In this podcast, we will discuss at least the following topics. The first, how studying international social work doesn't really feel like studying. Also, the sense of community in the program. And lastly, whether you need to be creative to study international social work or not. I want to welcome my guest. Today we have two international social work students, Mikaela and Luthien. Glad to have you here at the Campus Café. We're here at Lokaal 99, and I want to dive deeper into your experience in international social work. But first, I want to know a little bit about your background. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Mikaela?
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm Mikaela. I'm 27 at this point. I'm from Sint Maarten, the Caribbean. I'm also half Italian, so I have the European perspective in my blood. I've been studying in the Netherlands for a few years now, doing international social work at the moment.
And Luthien?
I'm Luthien. Thank you for having me also. I'm from Curaçao. I've been living here for 3 years and also doing international social work. And yeah, this is my third and final study.
Oh, wow.
Because I think I was still trying to find what fits for me, and this clicked. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Perfect. We have a very Caribbean table here today. I'm from Aruba too. I'm not going to make it about myself, of course, but just to fun fact out there. And what year are you currently in, Mikaela?
I'm in the third year of my studies.
And you're the third year too.
Yes.
So you have one more year and then you're finished.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. We'll dive deeper in the study in a bit, but first I want to start with a little icebreaker. Someone sent an email to you to bring an object from home that gives you nice memories from home and then has meaning to you. I'm curious, what object did you bring, Mikaela?
I brought a little vial, which very fitting for us Caribbeans. It's sand. It's a mix of sand from one of my favorite beaches on the island, but also one of my favorite beaches in Italy, with a little feather from my mom that I keep on my counter.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, I didn't necessarily bring an object, but I do have like a story. But I think something that I think all of us also as Caribbean we miss is the ocean.
Right.
And I think that is something that every time I go back home, that's the first thing I do. The first or second day, I need to go. To me, the Caribbean Ocean is just so cleansing and healing, and it just feels like a rejuvenating experience always. So, yeah.
Oh, there's something in common. We have. We both are reminded of the ocean of home. Well, thank you for telling me a bit about your cultural background. Of course, I know about it, but it's good to hear from your side too. Let's get into the study. Why did you choose this program in the first place?
I think for me, I was studying music first.
Mm-hmm.
Then when COVID happened, I went back home for 2 years, and I was still trying to discover, okay, what do I want to do? And then I stumbled upon social work. And at that time, I was like, okay, is this really what I want to do? Because I kind of wanted to find that study that I'm like, okay, this is it. And I was like, I'll give it a shot for 1 year, and then we'll see how it goes. And I did it my first year, and I loved it. It felt natural. It felt... it didn't feel like I was, going to school. Or when I was doing internship, it didn't feel like, I'm going to work. And I think that's how I realized, okay, this is it. And I also wanted to do something in English. Because I can speak Dutch, but I've also lived in America. So to do that transition, I was like, nah. So, yeah, and I found social work.
What about you, Mikaela?
Well, I was doing an associate's degree here in the Netherlands, also a Dutch program in pedagogy, and I was looking to do something else. After I was done, I was looking into a few different programs, and indeed the appeal of it being in English is what sold me. But I've always wanted to do something helping people, and I'm very interested in psychology, which I will probably continue doing. So it's not my last study, like Luthien. But yeah, just the appeal of the English program and being able to do something in the field of helping. Yeah.
I'm curious, what's the difference between the international social work and the normal social work? Do you know it?
The way that I understand it is that the regular program is more focused on the Netherlands and how you can get around the health system here. And international social work is the broader perspective, and you can work with different NGOs and with refugees in different countries. So that's also one of the bigger selling points of the program, is that you can do internships abroad. So you can go all over the world with the diploma and work anywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, I think I also understand it the same way.
Yeah.
So
So if I can summarize, the scope of the program is different than the national one, and you focus more on an international community within your study. I am curious, what is your favorite element of the study? You're both in your third year, you've experienced a lot, so I'm very curious, what is the prominent thing that shines out?
what I like about it, I think, is the creative aspect. I love that art is very essential. I think as a social worker also, having a creative outlet is very important. So I think I really enjoy that. And I don't know, there's just this freedom for students, or at least from my experience, to explore. I think there's a lot of space for you to explore and find out which oh my god, direction in social work you would like to go.
And you mentioned creativity. How do you use art in social work?
Like for example, right now I'm doing my internship at Collectief Koppach, which is like very close, and their whole central point is to use art and connect that with the neighborhood. And so you have a mix of social workers and also artists from Artes, for example, and together you work to use art as a way to communicate with others, but also as a way to help others. And I find that very beautiful, like through visual storytelling or having a space where people from communities who maybe don't feel like they have a safe space, they can come there and use art to express themselves. And I think that's very important as a social worker also, to have to be able to find creative ways to help others.
And if you're looking into international social work, do you have to be a creative person?
I don't think so. I don't think you have to be, no. I think it's just the beauty of it, at least from my perspective, is that even if you're not creative, there is still a way that you can tap into that creativity for yourself, and still it manifests differently for every person. But I think you just have to be open to finding your own way of interpreting art and doing it.
Right. And what stands out for you, Mikaela?
Yes, I've been thinking about it as Luthien was talking, and I would, for myself as well, say the creative side of the program, because you have then the four different fields. You also have sports and experience, so you can use sports as well as an outlet to, for therapy. But I think also, we get sociology and philosophy and psychology, and those are subjects that I'm very interested in. But I think it's like Luthien said, it's just the openness of being able to find what you're actually interested in, because social work is such a broad field. You can do so many different things. So it's really just the openness of finding what you're actually interested in. And then, like I said, the international internships, where you can go abroad and find the actual field that you want to work in and the target group that you want to work in. So I would agree that the openness of it and the creative aspects I also enjoy.
You talk about the openness. How much freedom do you have to choose what you want in the study? Or how would you describe it?
The first 2 years you have to follow a set thing. In the second year you have a bit more freedom in choosing the creative courses. In the 2 semesters you can choose one of each, so you can get more in-depth information. But when it comes to the internships, there's the the program offers you a bunch of different internships, and you can choose whatever you want. There's also the free mover aspect of it. You can find an internship yourself. And as long as there's a social worker there and you're allowed to do it and they approve it, of course, you're free to do it. But I experienced the teachers as well to be very open, and at least with myself, open.
What's your relationship with your teachers? That's very important.
I have a great relationship with my lecturers.
You too, Luthien?
Same, I would say same.
Yeah. And speaking of teachers, how about the classroom? How could you describe a typical classroom? How does it look like? How's your dynamic with your classmates? From what nationalities do they come from?
I think I would have to say for us, we were very lucky the first year. Like, I think our class was, I think everybody was from very diverse background, and we were quite proactive in the beginning to kind of bond with each other. And Mika and another student, another colleague of us, Asana, they came together and they made, I think, over the line to kind of ask questions so then we can all bond together. And I think that really was like that icebreaker for all of us to really connect with each other. And it was very nice, a very lovely first year experience. And I think how I would describe it is just everybody is just, yeah, of course you have like different like groups here and there, but I think everybody would come together very nicely. And it's beautiful also to hear different perspective because you have people from different backgrounds. So when we talk about a specific topic, you get multiple perspective from it. And I think it's very eye opening because also sometimes you realize how privileged you are as a person and also how there's so much to be done. And that change is also very necessary in certain things. So
There's a true sense of community that you feel within your classroom. Yeah, and you go. Are you often with your class, or because you mentioned you go a lot out there in the practical field? But do you spend time with your classmates too, or
Like
how do
at
I
the
see that balance?
moment, because in the third year, like I said, you go abroad.
Yeah.
So we do classes online.
Mm-hmm.
We're very fortunate that all of our friends are kind of still in the Netherlands. Some of them have gone away, but they're coming back soon. So yay.
Hey.
But yeah, online classes is a bit different to the community atmosphere, and it can be a bit challenging at
Right.
times. But yeah, in the first and second year, like Luthien said, it's very, you see each other every day, especially in the hallway. But yeah, we do our best to keep in touch via WhatsApp and Instagram, of course, and our team's classes. I do know that a couple of the classes, they stay online after class is over, to create that hallway moment that they can just chit chat with each other. But yeah, we're fortunate enough to be with our friends still.
That's good to hear, and that's very important for
Yeah.
the student experience because you have what is in the classroom, but a lot of the experience or the things you experience comes from the classmates that you have, the things you talk about outside class too. So that's good to hear. Well, I'm gonna address an elephant in the room here. As you sat down, you notice there was, yes, indeed, you're looking there. There's a huge wheel of fortune there, and I'm gonna address what it is now. There's a few questions, random questions on it, and soon both of you are gonna spin it, and you're gonna, well, get a random question, and then you have to read it out loud and tell me the answer to that question. So, Luthien, why not you start?
that was something.
You can try one more time. It's the Wheel of Fortune. There we go.
What is your favorite topic or
Ooh,
course?
good one.
For me, it had to be visual storytelling. In the second year, especially, we did it. I think it was with Laura. Laura?
Laura's a teacher.
Yeah, I think it was with Laura. Yes, and she was so an amazing teacher, and I think she made the experience so beautiful, and I think everyone in the class felt very safe to really express themselves. And I think what I love about the classes was there was a theme, but there was openness to how you want to interpret it. And I think it was a very healing class for me because I really enjoy visual storytelling. So being able to use different art forms like painting, video, a poem, music to communicate something, I just thought it was very beautiful. So I always enjoyed visual storytelling.
Nice. Now, Mikaela, it's your time to spin the wheel. See what kind of fortunate question you got.
How do you manage the workload?
Oh, I think we have our answer.
At first, I had a bit of trouble, and I was called a workaholic quite often. I don't personally find myself workaholic because I do, when it's time to close my laptop, I do close my laptop. But yeah, it can be a bit difficult because we do have quite a bit of work to do, quite a lot of reports to do. And now, especially with the internships, you have different responsibilities on top of the schoolwork. But how I manage it, at 5, my laptop is closed for work. I don't reply to any emails anymore. I don't pay attention to, I kind of just shut school off as much as I can, of course.
Is it something self-disciplined or that you learn it throughout your academic journey?
I think it's a bit of both. I think in the work field, you have to, at a certain point, you do learn that, no, you can't really continue with the 24/7 aspect of it, which you do in school. Because yeah, deadlines are deadlines and you have to reach them. But yeah, with the program, thinking about social work, thinking about self-care and how to manage stress and whatever like you do, it is something that's talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means it does prepare you very well in some way for the professional field later on.
In some way, yeah.
Yeah. That's good to hear. So I've did a bit of research, and what you can find on the internet, sometimes there's a lot of false information out there, and there's the truth. But I'm gonna need your help to help me find the truth. So we're gonna go do a little segment called Fact or Fairy Tales, and you just have to say if the next statements I make are either facts or fairy tales. So please help me debunk some rumors going on around about international social work. So number one, from day one, you are in an international classroom that prepares you for a career working beyond global borders.
Is there an option for like in the middle?
Fact and fairy tale. Yeah.
Fairy tale, a little.
And how come
It's
do you
very
think it's a fairy
nuanced.
tale? Yeah, it's a very
very
nuanced.
nuanced.
It's in
question,
between.
I'd say. It's in
Yeah.
between.
Our fact checker, yeah, I do have a fact checker apparently. It says
Yes.
facts. But okay, let's go. Number two, you only gain experience abroad in the final year.
Fact.
Fact.
Yeah, I would say it's a fact.
What is? Can you just repeat it again?
Yes, you only gain experience abroad in the final year.
That's a fairy tale because in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would say fairy
Yeah.
tale.
Okay, good.
I was thinking because level 1, level 2, level 3, level
No.
3 you go abroad.
Yeah,
So that's the
level
last
3.
2 years. Yeah.
Right. Well, indeed, it is a fairy tale according to our fact checker. After studying international social work, you receive a full bachelor's degree in social work. Fact, fairy
Fact.
tale. Oh, nice. Well, speaking of final year and receiving your bachelor year, I was wondering, what are your career plans after you finish your study?
We were actually talking about this last night, very coincidentally. Yeah, like I mentioned, I want to go into psychology, but I have no idea. I think I want to do a master's in communications. I want to specialize in body language. And yeah, probably do another master's in, so I'll probably do a double master's in communications and psychology. But I
Ambitious.
don't, yeah, very ambitious,
Yeah.
but I have no idea. I also dream to do a PhD, so, but we'll see.
There we go. And you, Luthien?
For me, I'm still figuring out what field, or like I still want to be in social work, but I don't know exactly what the direction would be.
Right.
But I also like to pursue a master's, and since I'm doing an internship in art, I've been really enjoying it to kind of combine the artistic side of me with the social work aspect. So I think it will probably be something in that field with that creativity and using art as a way to help others.
Nice. And you mentioned both of you want to continue doing a master. Are you planning to stay in the Netherlands to do the master?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you planning to work? Oh,
I'm unsure.
you're unsure.
Yeah.
You have any
I would,
ideas?
I was thinking about Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
I was there last week.
Oh, nice.
Lovely place. But okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the last few months Denmark has been in my mind, so
Yeah.
maybe, but I don't know.
Right. You still have 1 year to figure it out.
Exactly. I
Great.
still have time.
No pressure. Well, usually people call me and I have a tendency not to answer my phone for whatever reason. So someone called me, a former student from international social work called me, and I'm going to play it right now.
Mayaka Bernard speaking, and I would like to share some perspectives about international social work SW bachelor's degrees from the Han University. You can work at organizations like UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, or Save the Children, among others, supporting to communities countrywide to achieve sustainable development. You could work at government levels, for example, on refugee resettlement programs, international initiatives, or human rights advocate within government departments. You could also serve at NGOs, CBOs, FBOs, where you'll be able to contribute your skills to local agencies in issues like poverty, education, healthcare, among others. Last but not least, You can also learn to conduct research, analyze data, and evaluate effectiveness of social program, leading to proper implementation. Therefore, I will say that ISW bachelor's degree is your passport to a rewarding career that tackles global challenges and empowers individuals and communities worldwide to become the change makers that we aspire to have.
Well, we're about to reach the end of the podcast. Do you have any final advice for prospect students looking into international social work? Luthien?
I would say be open. I think that's the very first thing. Be open to the experience. Honestly, every preconceived notion, I don't know if I'm using it right, but anything you thought about, let them go in a way and just be open to the experience. And also, if you want to get the best experience out of it, you need to take advantage of it. Ask the questions, learn the things, and just be in the program. Because I think a lot of times, you have expectations, but sometimes you expect so much from the other side, but I think it's a two-way thing. You also need to put effort in to meet the teachers halfway, to get the best out of the experience.
Nice. And Mikaela?
I would say the same. Have an open attitude towards the program, but also towards your fellow classmates, and walk with respect, because we all are from different cultures, different environments. We've all experienced very different things, some more traumatic than others. So the respect of understanding your fellow classmates and also your teachers that are standing in front of you is a big thing to have. And it's also one of our attitude aspects. So we should always be respectful towards one another.
Yeah, being open for multiple perspectives is very important.
Yeah.
And I think especially in your field of work.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good advice. Very good way to end it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in into this Campus Café podcast. If you have any more lingering questions about international social work, please visit han.nl/ISW for more information.